We back.
We back.
Hour of the hour.
How much power can you get in an hour? We have been exploring this for a while now. It has been great. It has been excelsior. Yeah, bro. I've been getting fed so much just from connecting and vibing with you. You know, soundboarding it. You know, we used to play a game called Off the Wall in elementary school where they had a tennis ball. Everybody would gather behind this one person that would cast this tennis ball on the wall or throw it against the wall, and it would bounce. And the next person to catch it would be that person. You know, and also. Michael Jackson also made an album called Off the Wall. and that's what happened. This stuff is off the wall, man. This stuff is off the wall, and it's just like when it went off the wall, it would go high. You know, if you throw it high, it's gonna go higher than you cast it. You know, and it's gonna come down to someone taking it upon themselves to catch the message. You know, to catch, you gotta catch the message. You know, and last week, just based off of the power of the movie alone.
Right. Forge Friday, part 2, y'all. Forge Friday, part 2.
Forge Friday.
Yep.
We was definitely about to segue right into that. Yeah. However, it's Forge Friday.
Forge Friday.
It's Forge Friday. Forge Friday, part 2. And yeah, it's a lot going on in our lives. It's a lot going on in everyone's lives. It's a lot going on within the country itself, the climate and everything that's going on, everything that has transpired. And these conversations are severely needed, you know. And definitely as a chess player, I see this down the line, and it's gonna be like, wow. However, you know, it's like that to us right at this point. You know, as everyone's at lunch or doing their Friday thing, moving around, I see the purpose in it. I see the numbers growing. I see the lives being empowered. You know, from literally just you're either hearing the affirmation or just falling into agreement because there's only one message. And the message is love, because love comes from comprehension. You know, I don't want to say under anything, understanding, whatever. I just simply say comprehension. And what we're developing and what we're comprehending at this time and these next times, I just need it, bro.
Yeah, man. God is in everything.
You better believe it.
Although a lot of people think God wasn't in this election.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, God disappeared.
Yeah, but, I mean,
you know, hey.
A lot of the times when and we'll build into, because like on Forge Friday Part 2, we get to build on this point that, and I want to say the uncle said this because I did write down the name. This is Uncle Tony. Uncle Tony was pointing at the chapter of Hebrews. And he was saying how God allows the gaps on purpose, you know. And once people come into an understanding that their own personal God-like relationship is the only thing that they need to be invested in necessarily, then everything is, well, until that point, everything is questionable. And then once you get that, you know, it's done, because you're going to live the answer, be the answer, FFYL, fight for your life, you know, and that's really what it is. So anyone who saw a gap, I strongly say congratulations. Number one, congratulations if you saw a gap in anything that happened through these last few weeks, these months of election and things of this nature. If you found a gap, fill that gap up. Fill that gap up. You're the chosen one because you saw it. You know, we're gonna get into Isaiah. And last week we were calling him Xavier, and it is Isaiah.
It's Isaiah.
Shout out. Who told you that?
My cousin Tony.
Shout out to that's another cousin. Uncle Tony.
Yeah, he's actually a junior, so he is. I do have Uncle Tony
Shout out-
because I was joking.
shout out,
I was
shout
joking with him like, man, I wish my Uncle Tony had a club we could go to.
Yeah, shout out. However, to the point, you are so powerful. I'm talking to us, and I'm talking to you. Ridiculously powerful. So when you see that gap, fill that gap. It was up to you. Like Desi, sometimes she asks for kisses from me, and my mode of operation is not to ever be any sort of typical convenience like husband. I'm going to be the altar of every great husband that I've saw, and it's been working great with communication because there's a lot of communication that goes into it. However, she says, "Let me get a kiss." And I share with her, I say, babe, you were empowered with that thought to kiss. Why be given when it's your time to give? You thought that. Now, if I thought, let me go get some flowers for my wife, and I called her talking about, babe, go get some flowers for yourself.
Right.
Doesn't make the powerful statement that me bringing it in,
Right.
because it's Wednesday,
Right.
makes. So when I share it with her, I say, babe, empower yourself. And then on the other side, as a person who is looking not to be denied, right? And you say, I don't want to risk that because I might get a no. I say, hey, go ahead, tough it out.
Right.
And then once you get the yes, you'll see. But don't hang it on yes or no. Hang it on, do you want to or don't you? Are you or aren't you? Right. Even in this movie, when Isaiah right when he was he got the notice that it's time to give some things up. He was like, "Are you Lord or aren't you?" Right. He's like, "Are you Lord or aren't you?" Right. He asked himself the question, inner space, the heaven, inside, and he came out with the answer. He was like, "Dang." He was like, "Yeah." You are. And mind you, I want to make sure everybody's informed to the infinite space. This isn't no people in the sky and the clouds. This is something that's going on personally with yourself in your inner space. So when he says this, he's saying Lord, he's saying law. He's saying, is this the law? As in, if I walked up on the top of this building, bro, and walked off the top of this building, bro, I would love to form wings and fly. Yeah. Bro, I would love to form wings and just flappity flap. However, the law states that I will meet this thing called gravity. Boom. And then gravity states that I will eventually meet this thing called the floor. And then the floor, depending on the heftiness of the floor, it says you will now meet this thing called death. In program for this shell that was called Gerald. These are all laws. So he's saying, what law do I get to abide by to cast a different everything over this life that I'm living? Because the life is literally the same. Only thing that's changing is the perspective. You taking your focus and putting it over there when it was over there. Just like my wife, she had her focus on, let me get the kiss and get it conveniently where it doesn't scare me, it doesn't intimidate me, I'm not uncomfortable, give it to me. As opposed to going, I'm going to create it, he going to love it. I'm telling you, think about how powerful those women were. They were in the background. Yeah. And they were going, he gonna get it. He gonna do it. We gonna pray it. We gonna make it. We gonna And they was just way in the background. Yeah. And having all these things start to happen. Yeah. So she could take that time. And that's why I say
that certainty of women, I'll say of Miss Clara's time, because she was the law. Miss Clara was the law.
Oh, for sure.
Because she brought the law to them, like this is what we gotta do, and we gotta.
She was on the ship.
But the certainty of that era of women at the time, just knowing that we're gonna make it, we're gonna get through this, it's gonna be all right, and it comes from them being in a situation or experience and then tapping into that situation and being honest about where they went wrong. Because for people who didn't, or if you haven't seen the War Room yet, you gotta check out the War Room.
Do all the movies. Actually.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's like all the movies from them brothers. They go hard, bro. They go hard. Yeah.
Yeah. If you check out the War Room at the end, she told her that she wasn't a good person. Miss Clara told her, she was like, I wasn't a good wife. And I disliked my husband at the time because of the job he had. And I wasn't there for him like I should have been. And he left. And I asked God to give me the answers and use me to do what I needed to do. And so then she became this woman of service, of higher service. And that right there is showing how she had to humble herself, put her wings down, and humble herself and say, hey, you know, I went wrong. And in the return, her return was greatness. So it's like the ugly produces the other side of the good, you know, the good for that.
It takes death. Like literally, that's what we'll hear in the Bible. You'll hear died a lot. Jesus died. You need to die daily. It's the process. Because on death, you get what? Resurrection.
And that's what's powerful about like the times we live in, because we've got so overwhelmed with feelings and with emotion that it's like, how can millions of people go somewhere on Sundays or Saturdays or whatever day they go and hear these stories of adversity and just bad stuff happening for somebody to come and overcome and show the power of something good and still think that stuff is just gonna be roses and rainbows all the time? And it's like, no, it's almost like we've known since little kids when they taught us this stuff that you gotta go get some dirt in your eye so you can see better. You know, or you're gonna get a punch in the face, but that's gonna teach you how to be a better fighter. Or, you know, you're gonna get knocked down only to know how to get up even better. You know, but now it's almost like everybody expects everything to be so easy. You're supposed to be okay with how I feel, and this is supposed to, you don't say that. And it's like, wait a minute. We've learned as kids, people will tell you straight out, like, we're gonna come hang you. We're gonna come whip you, hang you, kill you, and burn you. I mean, and then somebody telling you, I don't like what you're wearing. Oh my God, you know, it's like, you know, we have to get back to strength. And strength is knowing that.
Love it, yeah.
Strength is knowing that, man, it's going to be stuff that happens to make you better. Forge. That still got to go through burning.
Come on.
Fire.
And getting beat.
You
got to get beat.
And they got to get beat.
Got to get
time
beat.
and time again. And go in the fire. Come out. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, it ain't right. Put it back in. Bring it out again. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, now we got to do the other side. Bing, bing, bing. Flip it over. Put it back in. Bring it back out. Bing, 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 bing. And to think that it was a time when men did this, like, this was men's, like, everyday work. You know, it's like people are travel the world, go around the globe, and they look at statues and these great buildings. You know how hard it was to build that thing? They didn't have bulldozers and all that stuff. These were people taking chisels and...
Yeah.
Well, got that much of the tablet done today. Well, definitely. 30 years it'll be done.
I mean, technically, I'll say it's the same time that it takes today, even though today's game is a game. It's a game being played where it goes, let me stretch this out for contract and money purposes. Where in the heyday it was like, no, this is literally going to take this long. You know, like now, like, you know, you'll see it from block to block, especially in Chicago. We're doing the Ubering that I've been doing across the city, bro. It's like every single block got it. Every single block has some sort of torn up streets and signs being put up. Why? Because the contractors know if I do it now, I'm going to force it to stretch out. I'm going to say wintertime is taking this out. Even though we did the last winter in Chicago, they could have worked year round. Did they though? Nah, they acted as the data says. Chicago is shut it down construction because of the weather. You know, so they even this one, they not even have the right to do it because nobody's admitting that we're in a new world now. This is a whole new zone now. You know, the whole world, I'm gonna say the whole universe thing. Flip the tortilla. However, to the point, what you're talking about in feelings by mass marketing that's coded into fear.
There it is.
You know, fear. The first one that falls in, fear. First one that hits, fear. First one that hits, be scared, be aware, be cautious, you know, and that can stagnate myself from doing anything if that's the one that I focus on, if that's the one that I host, if that's the character that I want to become. If I want to become the stagnant character, just toss up something. I don't want to get into an accident tomorrow, so I'm not going to. Or I don't want this to happen, so I'm not going to. And then on the flip of the dime, I do want this to happen tomorrow, so you know what I'm going to do? You know, however, it's simply a know your enemy sort of thing. So the marketing itself, it knows them.
Yeah, the marketing appeals to emotion. So that's been the mainstream form of marketing probably since the 90s. It's just in the 90s, everybody kind of fought it a little bit more. You know, and it started, you know, everywhere, you know, but it was still separate then. You know, when you would drive to the airport, drive to like O'Hara, you had the like Marlboro Man, you know, smoking cigarette, the cowboy, be doing this, and, you know, the Joe Camel. That all looked so cool. But in our communities, you had the cool billboards and the Salem billboards, and, you know, everybody was always having fun. And, you know, then came the McDonald's getting jiggly with it and jiggy with it and all that stuff. And so it's like they were always a
Don't forget about the St. Ives.
St. Ives.
Don't forget about the eyes.
Yeah, St. Ives. And Coors and,
you know,
and I can't even remember the Colt 45, Colts, you know. So
that was Billy D. We talked about Billy D
last week. Yeah. So the thing was to, if you put imagery up like that, you appeal into an emotion, and fun is an emotion, because you know when you have fun and you get excited, endorphins in the brain, so you think, yeah, holding a cigarette while we're skiing is fun, you know, and it's like a playing tennis and the cool cigarette is here is fun, you know, and it's like, so they started appealing to emotion. And then once it was after maybe early 2000s, and I'll be honest with you, after maybe, and when it comes to music, and I know people always say, well, oh, let music raise my kids, but music's always been a connection to culture. So, you know, I mean, little girls dressed like Madonna when she was out, little boys wanted to dress like Michael Jackson, little boys dressed like Bon Jovi, and, you know, and so little boys dressed like Run DMC. So music has always been attached to culture. So we need to stop being ignorant, like, no, let music raise my kids. Okay, whatever. But, because the next phase of music wouldn't come out if it didn't influence people. So if somebody didn't see these people, they wouldn't say, hey, I can make music like that, or I can make it sound a little better, you know. But it's like, I would say after that Tupac Biggie death thing, it was like, that was a time when emotional attack was snuck in to the point where it's like, now you can get everybody because you took out strong figures in a light of youth. It was about youth. It ain't about older people, because older people tough. You know, you can't tell them shit. You know, they don't want to. You know, you ain't about to tell an old person shit. They ain't about to follow nothing. They gonna tell you how they feel, and I don't care how old they get. They'll try to knock your teeth out if they still got the weight of swing in their hands. You know, and they can be feeble and be able to be pushed over by blowing on them, and they still gonna try to fight. You know, because it's just an era they come from. They didn't live from an emotional space. They live from a space of struggle. Get up, grind. We may not eat today, but we working all day. You know, we got to go to this factory all day. You know, mama got to go clean floors all day. Or, you know, daddy out here going from this job to the docks to this, to this, to this, to this, to this, and mama at home with the kids and trying to figure out a way how to make this apple stretch 5 ways. So, you know, and that was...
With no apple slicer.
Right. You know, and that was...
Or a knife.
And that was like, that wasn't a black thing. That was a era thing, you know. You had, people think it's have and have nots. Now, back then, it was really haves and have nots. It was like, you know, we up here like kings and queens. Y'all down there as peasants, you know, asking and begging people for this and that. You know,
in between.
Yeah, and that was black, white, whoever was in certain cities. And so they didn't live from a space of emotion. They lived from a space of we gotta do it. We gotta get over.
It was to your point. It was a word you used at the top of the convo. It was law.
Mm-hmm.
It was law with Miss Claire, like even with Miss Claire and everything. It was laws in those days, and now we're coming into a lawless day that goes into more affirming the emotions at large.
Mm-hmm.
You know, than the creation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, this emotion is going to give way to this creation. Is this what you want? It goes, oh, forget that question, is this what you want? And this is what it leads to. I just want to talk about the emotion.
And I think what's happening in the world with young people and we'll say 40s and down, I think people starting to realize the effect that the emotional generation coming up in that has had, and everybody's like, look, man, you know, everybody a little too soft for me,
bro.
You know, it's
NFL done got soft.
Yeah, it's a little too.
NBA done got soft.
You know, it's like I ain't with all the participation trophies type stuff, and it's like it's okay to say, hey, you know, this era of time did it a little wrong. Maybe they could have did a little bit of this, but then you have to take an account of everything, and everything includes like where the world is now. It's like, could this generation be the Henry Ford generation? Could they be the next builders of cars and factories and could this generation now be the next Amazon? I'll bring it right here to modern times. Could this generation now be the next Bill Gates? Could this generation now be the next industrial engineer? We'll take it away from fame. Can this generation now be the next skyscraper builder? Can this generation now be the next person that produces, you know, the beams that go within buildings, the pipe fitting, the sewage, you know? And it's like, look at what's happening in the world. And then you can see that emotional pull generation is not going to be the generation that keeps everything going over and around again. Because there's no app for that.
Yeah, I mean, not in the way where the physical eye can see it.
Yeah, but there's no app to get down in the sewer and do that.
That unplanned thing that happens, like Uncle Tony was saying. Like, if I do it, oh, bro, I'm finna toot my horn. Right. But however, when I know for a fact there's no way that Gerald West Jr. did that, however, it did happen. It shows that he found himself under a law or with a law in combination, and that synchronization created this thing happening. So that's why I say, when I look at the children, like my mom decoded myself and my sister, I can only see the greatness. It's easy to fleshly see what's going on wrong. It's hard as heck to see what's going on right. You see what I'm saying? And let's build into it, because I told you I wrote down some names.
Hold on. Let me grab my nuts for this one.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. No cashews.
Oh, that's all I got.
Come on, bro. We talked about this. Us able types, we gotta let that go.
Pecans.
Okay, you run those. This is the walnuts. You know what I'm saying? Don't even sleep on those.
Got some covered raisins.
Oh, we can do the raisins. Is it milk chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, we gotta get off the milk. However, you know, I want to build into some of these names because last week we were so excited that we was like, let me put it on myself. I was so excited about last week. Forge, hey Cat, Danae, hey, all right, brother Kyle was online. I don't know if he's still out there.
See, I thought I said when I grabbed my nuts, I was talking something else. See that?
I'm glad I didn't go there. However, Joshua.
Yes.
Joshua.
Mr. Moore.
Wait for it. Moore.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
You can't deny it. It's in the name. It's in the name. Yes, thank you, brother. It's in the name. Okay, so we got Joshua Moore, Isaiah Wright.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we got Miss Clara. Miss Clara was the old school law. She was just the old school way of being. Everything has its place, and in every place there is something for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we talked about the mother and the twins. Bro, they're not twins, bro. That was the same
That's the same
female.
person. Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I looked it up.
They did such a high quality job. Now, it was only one scene where they was right next to each other, but from the lighting, I couldn't see.
It was like they was right there.
Bro, I couldn't see any flaw. Now, of course, I'm examining more. However, to my seeing it for the second time, their eyes being naked, I'm like, bro, that was a flawless scene. That was so well done. Cinematography.
Shout out to the writers and directors, man.
Oh, for sure.
Because War Room was like 10 years ago. And so the fact that like Uncle Tony stayed, you know, they can come in, then they brought the little girl Danielle, and they brought all them back, man. I mean, the fact that those actors are healthy and well. And,
yeah, but that also shows practice what you preach. Because in that mindset and using that law, you should only elevate. Period. Are you gonna go through? Yeah, you're gonna go through. You're gonna go through. You're not gonna get held up though.
Right.
You ain't gonna get stopped though. You're gonna go through, which is what we want to do. Their mother Janelle, that was Joshua's wife.
Yeah,
which is real powerful. Now we not gonna tell the story. We not gonna tell.
Yeah, y'all gotta watch it, man.
You gotta watch it.
You can get it right here on YouTube for I think about $4.
It's so simple. Just do it. Just watch it. And I forgot to get the friends' names. Tweedledee and Tweedle Smart. I forgot to get their names. However, the ladies in the salon, they were they were excellent. Yeah. Then we have, of course, Uncle Tony. Then we got and then this is getting into the Forge. We got Uncle Tony. Then we got Trey, and Trey duplicated with Dion. Then we got Coach B, or Coach Benjamin. Then we got Jonathan, which I found out was a Reverend Jonathan, and Levi. Then you got Vaughn and his son Jerry. Vaughn was the financial advisor. And then you got Bobby and you got Ethan. I'm not gonna speak on that.
Yeah, we ain't talking about Bobby.
I'm not gonna speak on that.
That'll give too much of the movie away.
I'm not gonna speak on that. It's all good.
It blew my mind though.
Hey, it's all good. Check out the movie. Then you got James and his son KJ. And then you got Brother Vaughn. Brother Vaughn is actually real life married to the lady who plays Cynthia, the mother.
Wow.
Yep. They got a few sons. Real talk. However, they're in this movie because they live that life, so they want to promote that life. We were talking about how powerful marketing is.
Right.
That's marketing as well. You know, however it goes, that's the life that you live. You know, on your downtime, you're still living the life. So therefore, those people should be able to pop back up looking full of life, full of vitality. You know, and just everything that personifies them in alignment with the best law that this shell of a body could align with to maximize this experience that it is getting for this time, for this go round, for sure. Now, when it comes down to, let me see. Okay, Isaiah in the Bible was a prophet. However, homie was a mad aristocrat though.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
I mean, you know, when you talk to kings that much, you know, it's the good Lord, it's the good law. However, you were born into that circle at the same time. It's obvious. Then we got Joshua. I always love to go into there ain't no J, it's Joshua. You know, however, there you know there is
English language.
There is a character called J, and there's Joshua and all that good stuff. However, he was a general for Moses. You know, so boom, boom, boom. Then you got Benjamin,
which is actually,
go ahead.
in Hebrew, Benjamin.
Yeah.
That's 2 words.
And let's go back to Isaiah Wright, because Benjamin, or Coach B, right? Gotta have a coach in your life. Gotta have the mentors. Have the mentors. Get your mentor. If you didn't have a mentor, get your mentor. You ain't got a mentor, get your mentor. Gotta have that sounding board. Gotta have that, like I like to say, crystal ball. Someone who's that 10 years but experienced so much, like 30 years ahead of you, or literally 30 years ahead of you, or maybe 20 years ahead of you. But you got somebody that can rub that thing and go, oh, you good. Yep. Oh, yeah, I've been there. Benjamin means son of the right. While Isaiah's last name is Right. Even though I know that they did the W with it. However, I don't care about that. I only hear it one way. And then we got one of the sons' name is Levi. Who had Levi? That was Jonathan. Now that was another name that I didn't look up. However, obviously, we're gonna have those names that are gonna speak into the energy of this forge, because a lot of those names are coming from disciples, which was the forge that we're talking about anyway, which is the forge that we're emulating anyway, and giving life to. Just simply that. Then we have James, and James was out of the apostles. He was the first one to go down being martyred. Yeah, and then boom, boom, boom. Let me see. Yeah, so those are the ones that I looked at real quick when I heard them. When I just listened to the movie again. I also wanted to point out some of the laws that Isaiah first, out of the pamphlet that he got. It was 5 scriptures, like the 5-pointed star, like a 5-point.
That little pamphlet he got from the homeless shelter.
There it is. So, and all of them was from Romans. The first one was Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Second one was Romans 5:8, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. I told you you're gonna hear die a lot, right? Cool. However, let me just bring light to it. Do ladies put dye in their hair? Yes.
They should.
Yes, they do time and time again. Necessarily, we understand some of the science says they shouldn't. However, it doesn't necessarily show the depth. It don't go, oh, I'm putting dye in my hair. Oh, my hair dead. It falls out. What happens to it? It changes. So let's lead it with the word change, because it's less intimidating for the intimidated. Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. Remember what I said Lord is. I'm telling you, these things are key. Once we get it from out the cloud and put it here, some things get going. Then we got Romans. This is the only one that had 2 verses. Romans 10:9 and 10 typically go together all the time. If you declare with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God hath raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Thou shalt be saved, for y'all King James Version. For it is with your heart you believe, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. Last but not least, Romans 10:13. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. So these are the prompters that he had, like you said, ground level when he first got that pamphlet that got him mad curious to the lifestyle that he was about to be shown.
We'll talk about something real quick that's important. What he did, Isaiah. Now, he made it to the age of 19, and mom had her faith. Other people around him may have faith, but the important thing he did, once he got in communication with Joshua, was he answered the call.
Oh yeah,
he answered the call
time and time again.
We all have gotten this call. Some later than others, some earlier than others. But we all know it's a time when you're supposed to change everything. And you stare at that change right in his face. And when you just make your decision, sometimes the decision don't always end well. Sometimes it gives you a little bit more time, a little bit more grace to, come back again. But it's like looking at that ghost. It's like looking at that ghost. Patrick Swayze looking at the ghost like, oh man, they calling me, I gotta go, and it's like, you better decide.
Yeah.
You better decide.
Yeah, man.
And it's like that call, you gotta answer that call.
Yeah, I mean, and the beautiful thing about it, and this is the eternal thing about it, the flesh mind goes, it's a one-time opportunity. Eminem did that song,
Lose Yourself.
Lose Yourself, yeah, when he was like, it's only that one moment. That's why you got a whole life of moments. M had it totally backwards. I got to coach the young fella when I see him, and I will let him know about his lack of lifestyle. That it's every moment. Seconds couldn't even describe how many moments that you get per day. Yeah. It couldn't. Tick, 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 tick. It don't even compare to how many moments you get. And honestly, the daily death highlights how many opportunities that you get just minimum by itself, not even breaking down the day in moments. It's just highlighting that you get the opportunity religiously every single day. And it don't stop. The second that you switch it up is the second that it's switched. The only person that can curse it is you by saying it's not happening. I say it again. When you switch it, it has been switched, it has been changed, it has been turned, it has been renewed. The only person that can curse it is your lack of belief by saying it is not happening. I believe that's where the evenly yoked thing comes between. Like you gotta make sure you evenly yoked and things. Cause I fight for mine, bro. Like with Desi, I fight for mine, bro. Cause she'll remind me of my old mentality sometimes, and she'll get into the what if not, and I'm like, I don't know about that life. Yeah, I'm like, well, I don't know about why you talking that. What is you saying right now? Like, I don't speak of that language. Like, you gotta come over here. I will not travel. Sometimes I meet people where they at. Yeah. A lot of the times when it's that, nah, you gotta come on over here.
Yeah, that is what the evenly yoked thing line up, because you gotta be in a space where you can grow. I was just talking to a peer yesterday, and I was telling him, like, when you're in relationships, you gotta be where you can grow. It's like you gotta be where you can grow, because anything that don't grow is dead. And it's like you gotta be where you can grow. It's like, I mean, man, our grandparents and great grandparents, them elders that stuck together for 60 and 70 years. I said, man, look,
that's sexy, man.
Man,
that's sexy.
I said them.
Sexy time. That is.
And
sexy.
It's like as a young man that's Asian, I'm like, man, I ain't tough as nothing, because it's like, man, my grandfather died married to my grandmother. My grandmother 91, still living.
Come on.
And it's talking about how she loved only one man for all these years. It's like
real Miss Clara.
Yeah. So it's like, and man, we don't have it. We don't.
I don't know about that. Yeah, the hell we do.
Nah.
Yeah, the hell we do.
Yeah, we got it late.
I mean,
we got it on the curve.
I'm gonna say it like this. Once again, it's marketing again. It's marketing taking hold.
But it's like
on my marketing, I get it daily.
Somebody set up to make sure that we didn't get it like they got it.
Sure. We just talked before we cut it on. We just talked about. And we'll dip into this because we want to have a conversation full on as it dries out. I love, by the time everything's dead, to talk about it then. I just like to do that. But the whole politics thing, so to myself and what I see, once again, is just marketing. And I must stop my nature casting things out and saying what's going on out here, and pull it back into me. I'll support you to pull yourself away from that marketing that's outside and pull yourself back into yourself by saying, what do you do with Tiff? Well, what do I do with that? Man, that's some old school shit, bro.
Yeah.
Now I don't care.
We got it.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. But see, that's what I'm saying. It don't stop at this table. It's fellas out there that's tending to the garden, and the ladies is tending to the garden, and it is in synchronicity. It is in yoke on balance daily, because we say so, and we're making sure it is balanced by communicating balance and all of these sorts of things. I can't give way to the vibrations of rap, or give vibrations to rock, that had its heyday at one time, or anything, any movies that have marketed these Tyler Perry movies and things of that nature. I can't give way to that and say that this is the majority. That is the minority. That will always be a minority, because why? It don't work. It doesn't work. However, what does it do? Yes, drama. Ain't drama more popular? You name me one Lifetime show that ain't got drama in it, bro, and I tell you, it ain't a Lifetime show.
Right.
Name one.
Yeah, they should change that to the Drama Time channel.
Because that's what it's all about. Of course, I got my big sister is on here. Auntie Bernadette was just on. Hey, Auntie. What up, JTE in here? Can't write drama for a life living. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got Bibles, bro. She got Bibles. You know what I'm saying? And she writes it for a living. If she ever wrote something that didn't have drama in it, it don't sell. Hell, her first book got banned. Why? Because it was dramatic as hell. And it hit some folk in some places where they didn't want to admit some things about they racist. And brother, it was like, oh no, we got to take this on down. But that is the most beautiful thing. That's beautiful of it is because that drama is the drama. And I'm gonna put this on the non-scene spaces too. Drama is awesome. Drama is powerful. The thing is, who do I become through the drama? Right, we did through. Now get stuck up in it, because that's the thing. We used to seeing people that got stuck up in it. Now, let's go back to the movie real quick. Romans 12:17 got dropped on young Isaiah's head because he had, you know how we said last week, he met the final boss.
Yeah.
You said it perfectly.
Yeah.
With the, what was it?
The video game?
Yeah, the video game, when the door rises, and that final boss come on out, ooh, double dragon and all this sort. And his father was standing out there, and it took all the angels of the Lord to hold this boy back from all the anger that he had and all the words that he knew was on his tongue, that he was just like, it's not me anymore. He was fighting between two characters. They was pushing and pulling. He had the devil over here, he had the angel over here, and all that sort of stuff. So,
if that was a Tyler Perry movie, he would have knocked his daddy out.
I mean, something would have happened.
Something
would have happened. Now, when he sat down with, I want to say Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua said, "Forgive or be poisoned. Replace pain with healing." And then he was talking about his lack of a father, and Joshua said, we all have parents. He said, God is your perfect father. Let me break it down for everybody now that God is the perfect parent. It's in duality. So you got to have feminine and masculine. If it's like that for me, and I am a simple character made in an image, then it got to be like that for Papa and Mama. Matter of fact, forget names. We didn't do words once upon a time. It was just vibration. So just the same way with you. And it's a powerful thing for people to see huge characters, and I do mean physical, be loving and be tender and be soft.
Yeah, right.
Now, what you don't want to do is hang your hat on those attributes like it ain't nothing else over here.
Exactly.
So we want to be well-rounded, but without understanding the feminine, that feminine course as you're going around into that 180. Before that 180, do another 180, and we get the whole 360. It's just something that we get to understand and gravitate to as knowledge seeking, great living FFYL sort of world. Forget community, world, because everyone needs it. But I digress. Let me get back to the first point. Forgive or be poisoned. Forgive or be poisoned. That was the heavy one for myself, because I said, wow, I get to make sure in my life that I am casting nobody as the villain if it's not me. And I do that a lot. I cast Gerald as the villain in the movie a lot. Like, I do that for the living. So I cannot cast someone else as it, because it's going to automatically belittle my power and my authority that I actually have to stop, start, pause, play, do whatever. But the young brother had a powerful, and this is right before he transitioned to another level on his job, right? They gave him a test, and he passed the test. Yeah. Some would say he failed. I'm saying he passed, as in he passed it by. He went through it. He got over it, and then he got the good word, because that was his big point. His big point was he didn't have somebody in his life.
Yeah, that one hit home. Just I know that for me being an actor, but he acted that out well according to how somebody would feel who comes from that experience. Because the anger is there. The anger is like, it's like, man,
visceral.
Yeah, you ready to, because one, you don't even think about yourself, you think about your mama. You know,
you ain't lying.
You're thinking about your mama.
You ain't lying.
And when it gets down to you, it's like, that's the last straw to where you ready to like kill a person, because it's like, you know, I'm gonna kill you over mama, but for me,
decimation.
Yeah, it's like, but
is it dust still around here? We going.
Yeah, and for him to just admit that and get it out, gratefully having someone there to let him get it out, and then give him a perspective. That is a blessing, but that whole scene I've experienced. That whole scene, from not the reunion part of it, but the feelings and the emotions and the anger and the rage and having somebody there to be like, look at this way. Man, and from that day forth, when I had that experience as a young man, I've never felt the same about the whole situation. You know, it was like I didn't even do this dude, ever do that, you know, God bless him, you know, like, but, and after that, years later, I had to go through the fact of it never being a phone call or never being a reunion, because he died. So it's like, we'll never get to have that, hey, this is Dad, I got your letter, will you call me and we can talk like
in this realm as these characters.
So
I get
it's like,
where you're coming from.
Like, you know, so then I had to deal with that. I had to forgive that, and then I had to deal with the forgiving of like, man, forgiving myself for just wanting to hurt myself inside for not being able to ever achieve clarity or anything. So it was like, it was some phases, and it all happened in different phases of manhood in my life. One was when I was real young. Then it was when I was a younger man. Then it was like a mature man, you know, and it's like, I had to look at myself at every which way, and it was like, man, young man, little boy guy, like, you can handle that, you know, you can sit and talk to him, tell him, hey man, you gotta let that go. It's time to move on. Now as teenage man, it's like, I'm ready to, you know, and then you gotta talk to teenage man. Teenage man gotta go back and talk to little boy like, man, look, you told me to do it this way, and now look at you. You know, and now
I love it.
Yeah, so now you get older, man. You know, we an adult, we got kids, and it's like, well, you can't, you know, now you got to go back and talk to teenage and little boy, like, look, man, y'all got to, you know, when I need y'all, if I need y'all, I'll reach out to y'all, but y'all got to go y'all own way. You know, y'all hold hands and walk on.
Yeah.
You know, because now I got these little people I got to be responsible for, and we already know from you, little guy, that they not gonna have the experiences you had ever. You know, we already know teenage guy, they not gonna have the experiences you had ever. We gonna make sure they never sitting and waiting and this and that and this and you know they gonna always have that and some. You know, so all right, y'all. See y'all. It's been real.
Well, let me build with you, because this is one of the things that I definitely do. Mindset is something that just is me. You know, going out to LA. Shout out to my brother Jerry, give me that invite. It put me on who I always was. It just, you know, it co-signed the brilliance. You know, we never get to say goodbye to the younger versions, the baby versions. You know, what we do is facilitate comprehension and love and empower to allow them to understand that the things that happened did not happen to, it happened for. Can you see it yet? They say yes, we rocking. They say no, we're still working. When the Joshua character spoke to Isaiah right before he went to the forge, he gave him the tutelage of posturing. Let me put it like that. How to shake a hand, how to look in the eyes. You know, those are things that the child can't do because the child is scared. So the child gives the bravado of what he gave to
Columbia Roughhouse.
What he gave to the father at the coffee shop. That was the fake bravado. That was the and this is a message to the young brothers. I hope y'all dug into it for this long, because this is a jewel for you. When you act tough, you faking. What Tyson say? Cause I'm catching that fight tonight too.
Oh yeah.
He say everybody got a plan
To get punched in
till
the
they
mouth.
get punched in the
I
mouth.
got a t-shirt with it. Yeah, I got a t-shirt. Yeah.
So it's the thing. Stay away from that stuff. You know, stay away from the barking. And I seen a brother, and I don't know this fighter who he was with. It was at some sort of game. But this dude, he barking at them, and the captions is like, he don't know that he talking to a prize fighter and could lose his life with a punch. And this prize fighter is kind of like, he wants to go, but he like, damn. But when he's like, damn, and he's smiling. That's the key to the who am I gonna bet on, bro? Am I gonna bet on Mr. Bark? Nah, because I done seen Barks fall asleep like this. Like dead, bro. Dead to the world, but they was just barking a second. And then, big bang, knocked out like. But the guy who was smiling, come on, man. Man, come on, man. You don't even want this yet. That's real. That's reality. That lets me know what it is and what it ain't. But it's for the mature eye only. Because if I took it back to that, what you did, if I took it back to the teenage girl and went, damn, he was barking. You gonna let him? That's the mature me. I'm looking at the guy who's smiling, going, oh my word, this guy is going to decimate this character if it happens.
And when you in any type of art, fighting or anything, you know, we are taught to always assume somebody knows something. So you'll never find too many, like, if they've been grounded. You know, don't get me wrong, because we had people who took martial art classes with us who, you know, they learned it to bully people, you know, and but you know, we also have people that just know that, like, you just assume that everybody knows something, even if you can size them up and visibly look and see that they don't. You just assume. You know, you never know who down in their basement doing this joint every day, just waiting for somebody to say something, and then as soon as you go to bully them, that's all they got. That's all they got. But you know, you never know. So you always have that assumption that somebody knows something, and it's crazy because you'll find some of the most deadliest men that are small, that are not, built, that are quiet, and it's like, as a martial artist, you just know you don't go picking, you don't go bullying people, you just know that,
Yes, indeed. I just wrote this down when I was checking out the prayer part. I just put it that way when he was praying in his room, right? He said, when you surprise people, you're on the right track. When you surprise people, you're on the right track, especially if they're people who are in your immediate tribe.
So you're talking about moms? His moms?
Yeah, she was shocked.
Moms was like,
she was floored. Now he was hitting her with the jab through the whole, like it was many jabs to that scene, but that prayer part was a Tyson old school uppercut. That made you look at the ceiling, then look at your toes.
Yeah, mama was.
Woo. Yeah, bro, it shook her. What we got?
Got a little meeting in a minute.
Okay, no doubt. I mean, we've been giving them juicy jewels for a while. The bottom line is this, y'all. Look at that movie. Look at the movie. Sit down. Get your popcorn. Pop.
Man, I wish we could show it, and do a show showing some of it.
I'll say less. You just
2 hours.
You just blew the whole future. You just blew the whole future. Like, yes, we will be little double multi screens and all of these sorts of things. However, for right now, everybody, they get to see what growth look like.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, because even when I tell people, I say, oh yeah, I'm about to go to my podcast out in Indiana, their eyes get big. Podcast? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Because the delusion of grandeur precedes before reality. So it goes, oh, you on the big stage and big this and big that. I be telling folks, yo, I'm big enough.
Right.
Like, I'm
we don't need no more.
I don't necessarily, it's going to happen because it's a part of the process of commitment. So it's going to happen. However, Gerald doesn't need it to happen. Who needs it to happen? The person who's hearing this. The person who slid on here a year later, what's today's date? Today is probably like the 12th or the 11th. No, it's the 15th. Today's the 15th. So on the 15th of 2027, I'm hollering at you, my young sister. I'm hollering at you, my young brother. And this is what it's made for. It's not necessarily just, it was made today and it went viral today. And then at the same time, bro, I'm 80s born. So all this is new to me. My wife convinced me to text in the early 2000s. I was not gonna go. I was good with my house phone.
Yeah, I kept the flip in the BlackBerry.
I went to the flip and then I went to the slide.
Yeah, I kept the little chocolate.
Yeah, the slide.
And as you see, we just doing it, utilizing the tools we have that we carry in our pocket. We ain't got the fancy microphones and headsets. I
don't believe none of that's fancy. Yeah. I'm the best invention ever.
Yeah,
This is the best invention ever made.
Yeah, we trying to compete. We trying to be Moses and Aaron right here, just giving y'all the message. Don't even worry about all the other stuff. You want Pharaoh, go somewhere else.
Love it. Look, with that being said, next week we're gonna jump into politics next week, bro.
Yeah, let's do it.
Look, we're gonna jump into the politics and how we've been politicking for the last let's say the last quarter of the year, because it has been a trip. We thought the Democrats was coming one way. They had to replug and revamp everything on the last quarter.
Hey the dogs and the cats.
And we might have a special guest appear next week. So we love y'all. FFYL.
Fight for your life.
We out.